foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra.
Kiwe duanye no so nke ezi omume gị. Kiwe wezugara anyị nrịanja niile, ọrịa niile nke pụrụ ịdakwasị mmadụ dị ndụ. N'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-agwọ ọrịa. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị onwe gị bụ Chineke nke ndị agha, ka iwe mere anyị ebere. Ka akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka ude nke anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị. Ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosie ike. Ka anyị wee n'ikpete maazị nye ha sọgotụtara nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise mma dịrị gị Chineke. Mma dịrị gị Chineke. Mma dịrị gị Chineke.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're connecting from. If you're joining me from any part of the world, Africa, Asia, Europe, America, or Australia, I thank you very much for your contributions on the channel. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remember blessed. And for those my friends who have subscribed, I thank you very much for your subscription. Always go to the comment section at all time. Make your comments, make your contributions, whatever be your own feelings, whatever be your own word, put it down at the comment section. You can equally criticize, you can equally criticize constructively if you so desire, so that we can learn from each other. All we are trying to do is to present the problem of the people of that contraption called Nigeria to the front burner, so that the world will know what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. Today, once again, I urge you to continue in the prayers that our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have directed us to pray. If you have not yet joined that prayer, please kindly join. It is not yet too late. It is not too late. That is the only means we can communicate to our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only help each and every one of us can give to our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as I speak. Praying along with him. Everything that he has told us, following it up and praying. When you pray along with him, you can equally hear his voice. You can equally follow up. You can equally know the true message when they come. That is why it is very important to pray. When you are thinking, why did he ask us to pray before he leave? These are one of the reasons why he asked us to pray. Because of something that is about to happen. Things that are coming ahead. That is why we have to pray now more than ever. You can see that a lot is happening. A lot is happening as we are marching forward for the freedom of Biafrans, moving into Biafra land. We cannot stop. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. We will continue to fight this battle to an end. And as you can see, already the battle has intensified. The battle has intensified and our enemies are scared, are so scared that they cannot take it any longer. That is why they are pushing all manner of propaganda out there. They are pushing all manner of propaganda out there, coming in with their divide and rule into Biafran struggle. We cannot allow them. Do not allow them. The enemies, the DSS, those who call themselves members of One Nigeria, the politicians in Nigeria, are trying to infiltrate the struggle by bringing in their own opinion, causing divide and rule among us. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. This is not a joke. This is exactly what is happening as I'm speaking to you. We have able men who are standing for Biafra. All the people and platforms that are speaking for Biafra, we have to unite together and continue to speak in one voice. The most important thing that matters now is our unity. The most important thing that matters is our freedom. The message of our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is anchored on freedom. Freedom of Biafra. Freedom of every indigenous person in that country called Nigeria. If you are preaching anything apart from the freedom of Biafra, you are missing the message. You are missing the message. The message of our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the message of peace, message of love, message of unity, message of freedom, more especially freedom. And the freedom is the freedom of all the Southerners, every indigenous tribe in that country called Nigeria, more especially the Biafrans. Focusing mainly on the Biafrans because the Biafrans have suffered a lot and enough. And it is time for Biafrans to go home. They have fought a lot of battle. They have tried in so many ways to be able to dance to the tune of this very ginger week to make sure that things get better. even sometimes sacrifice their own comfort. Yet, Nigeria refused to accept the Biafrans. It is time for the Biafrans to go home. Nobody can stop the Biafrans from going home. It doesn't matter what the government do. It doesn't matter what they say. They can never stop the Biafrans from going. We are going, and nobody will stop it. Nobody will stop it. I am going to share with you a very important video, and I want you to watch this video carefully from the beginning to the end, because you are going to see a lot of revelations on that video when we are talking about the attack from the Fulani controlled government through the media. This is where you are going to see it in display. You know, each time they try to plant divide and rule among the Biafrans, and those of us from the southeastern region who are Biafrans, the old southeastern region who are Biafrans, some of us are still sleeping. We don't know what is happening. They have come again. This time they are using their media seriously to push all manner of propaganda and lies against the Biafrans, making the Biafrans to fight each other. More especially the deceit of the Igbo presidency. They are deceiving people who want to be deceived. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have said a lot that we are supposed to put in our head at all time and know that danger is ahead. These people are coming back again with their divide and rule, trying to divide the Biafrans and make sure we do not have a voice, even when they themselves know that we are one. It is obvious. We are one. Every Biafrans are one. We are one in one voice. They are coming again with the Igbo presidency. Even as they are talking about the Igbo Biafrans providing the presidency, they still bring that divide and rule. Inside the Igbo presidency, they are bringing the divide and rule, trying to differentiate the Igbos of mainland and Igbos on the outskirts. Igbos are one. There is no small Igbo and no big Igbo. There is no original Igbo and no fake Igbo. Igbos are Igbos. It doesn't matter where you are. If you are Igbo in Benue State, Igbo in Delta State, Igbo in Cross River, Igbo in River State, they are all Igbo. Wherever you are as an Igbo person, you are Igbo. There is no second thing than Igbo. IGBO. That is what we all are. There is no original one, there's no fake one. It doesn't matter how they paint it. But you see this media, they will continue to plant this divide and rule to make sure they divide us. And this is the problem we are facing in the struggle. Even the struggle that we are doing today. They come into the struggle and they plant divide and rule. Planting divide and rule from all angles, all corners. Our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been fighting this battle for a very long time, speaking up. Even when they know that our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying the truth, they will never accept it. They continue to push their evil agenda. And some people are falling victim to that message. Today, I want to show you where that message of evil message has been exposed. In the media, Arise TV. Watch this very video carefully and listen to the questions that so-called Abati, or whatever he called himself, the Fulani agent in Arise TV, Abati, the kind of question he is asking to somebody who is an Igbo person, who has told him, I am Igbo. It doesn't matter where I am Igbo. Yet, Abati tries as much as possible to make sure that the person denies his identity. I want you to watch this very video carefully from beginning to end. You are going to learn a lot. That Igbos are one, Biafrans are one, and nobody can separate us. Don't allow them to divide us. Let us watch the video carefully.
Southeast states pursue their quest for the emergence of a Nigerian president of Igbo origin in 2023. They have been accused of shutting the doors against other Igbo subgroups, chiefly from the South-South geopolitical zone. According to indigenes of Anioma, Ikwere, Eche, Ibane, Ukwane, and Ekastok, they share the same social-cultural systems, language, and ancestry with their brethren in the 5 Southeast states. They are also contending that it will be undemocratic to subvert the rights of Igbos who are not domiciled in the Southeast for the quest for an Igbo president come 2023. To discuss the push for a Nigerian president of Igbo origin and the views expressed by the Igbo subgroups in Nigeria, which have often been accused by Southeasterners of only identifying with them when it is expedient. We are now being joined by Chike Ogea, Managing Director of McFarlane Hospitality Limited and former Commissioner for Information in Delta State. Good morning, Chike Ogea, and welcome to the show. And let me welcome you especially in Professor Akintenewa's manner. Chike, okay, chike. Anyway, it's good to have you. It's good.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the program.
See to do Arufai as well.
Nice to see you.
Anyway, very quickly,
yes.
Looks like everybody wants to be president. And you are from the Anioma Oshimili side of the River Niger. And you know, we hear that people who are not mainstream Igbos, the Igbos in Delta, the Igbos in Rivers, they are also saying, look, if there's going to be the zoning of the presidency of Nigeria to, you know, the southeast, then those who pay the price as, well, permit me to use the word, Igbo subgroups, you know, are also good enough to represent Igbos. But the dilemma here is that people from all the other ethnic groups that we mentioned, they also belong to the South-South. They are not mainstream Igbos. So why is this, you know, a big issue about we are also Igbos? You know, because if the thing goes to Igbo land, we too are part of the Igbos. And if so, who are your favorite candidates, possible candidates from the marginal Igbo groups?
Fine, Ruben. Thank you for having me once again. You made a comment which resonated with me, and that is one of the main reasons why I'm here this morning. You talked about mainstream Igbo. What is that? I don't think there's anything called mainstream Igbo. Because, you see, if we go back a little bit in history, even from the coup that brought, that truncated Nigerians' democracy as far as I'm concerned and put us in the quandary we seem to be in 1966, one of the major participants was a young man called, he was a major, Nzogu. He's from Okpanam. Okpanam is just 2 minutes away from Asaba. It's more or less the same place as Asaba, which makes him an Oshimili Igbo person. From that axis, the Anyocha Oshimili area, we speak exactly the same kind of, when I have a discussion with any brother of mine across the Niger, he understands what I'm saying. There might be little fluctuations of one word. We can say shinne, they can say rine, you know, and little things like that. But in the main, it is the same dialect, it is the same language. Now, when you look at even the effort of the Biafran War, you know, and I want to talk about personal experience here, you will see that the Oshimili and Nyocha Igbos were even the ones that bore most of the brunt of that war. Both in terms of course, the Asaba massacre is known to everybody. I don't think any town, either in the southeast or anywhere in Nigeria, suffered as much as the Asaba people did, with the kind of killings and the program that went on in Asaba on that fateful day. Why was that so? If you think those people, I mean, the federal troops did not have enough intelligence to tell them that this town was solidly behind the Biafran agitation. My late father was a medical doctor who was practicing in Benin at the time when the Civil War broke out. I was barely 6 years old, my two elder sisters. And my mom is of the Yoruba extraction. She had a choice of taking us to her parents in Ibadan where they were living. But she said, no, wherever my husband is going, I'm going to go with my husband. And they put us in 2 cars and we went across. They went to look for an old friend of his, that they were all in Benin, who lived in Oka, Chief Dom Mosu Njikoka, as they called him. And we stayed with him in his house in Oka, and both families became one, and thereafter we ran from one town to the other throughout the 30 months of the Biafran Civil War. Obviously, if my father did not take us away, possibly I might not even have been here, because the children were killed, women were killed. There is no family in Asaba that did not suffer the loss of one person or the other, a man, woman, or child. Because don't forget, when those federal troops came to Asaba, the idea was that, oh, come and welcome the federal troops, they are here. And they all gathered the people in the open field, and then they opened fire on them. So whenever I hear this talk about Igbo presidency, and people are trying to say there is some subgroup of Igbo or there is mainstream Igbo, it doesn't resonate with me. Because you see, the Anioma people, or rather the Oshimili Aniocha people, will always be shortchanged in Nigeria. Let me tell you a little story. In 1999, when the new democracy started, it was everywhere. It was an open secret that the person that was tipped to be the secretary to the Federation at that time was Chief Philip Asiodu. He is my godfather, he's my uncle, he took me into government. We all know his antecedents, super palmsec, very cerebral and everything. He's one of the custodians of Nigerian history and political economy and everything. And he was supposed to be the secretary to the government of of Nigeria at that time. And just before the announcement was made, they decided that, oh no, since a Southeasterner, an Igbo man, was going to be number 3, that is the Senate president, the Wazobia thing. There was going to be a president from the West, a vice president from the North, and the Senate president from the East, as it were, who was an Igbo man. Now, they refused to make it. He was not confirmed as the SGF anymore, which was supposed to be like number 6 or whatever in the hierarchy, because he was an Igbo man. So at that time, it was he conveniently lost that position because he was Igbo. But they didn't remember that he was also South-South, because the whole idea, they said they had to look for a true South-South Nigerian, and that's how Ufo Tekaite was made the secretary to the government. So you see, when it's convenient, we are not Igbos. When it's convenient, we are South-South. When it's convenient, we are not South-South. When it's not convenient, we are not Igbos. So you see, they can't keep picking and choosing for us all the time. And it is particularly heart-wrenching when I see, hey, we know how Nigeria works. Whether an Igbo man will be president, only God knows. Personally, I want to see that happen, even if you say, yes, the Igbos from the Southeast, have not enjoyed it at this time. But also the Igbos from Aniocha Oshimili, who have a skin in the game and who have suffered everything the Igbo man from across the Niger has suffered, has also never been. Don't forget that when Midwest was a region, the first premier, that is the only region that was even created by a referendum in Nigeria, when there were just 4 regions in Nigeria. The first premier was Chief Dennis Osadibe. Yes, he was from Asaba, and he was the premier of Midwest State. Midwest region, rather. So what I'm saying is that we never lacked the manpower, the capacity of human beings, or that human capital that can deliver on that kind of mandate as the president of Nigeria. So to keep shutting the door at us, using all these, little colorations that are always brought into the matter, you are South-South now, you are not Igbo now, you are not mainstream Igbo, it just doesn't make sense to me. That is the truth.
But what about those who shut the door against themselves? You have prominent politicians in this country who switch hats depending on which way the wind is blowing. They also choose to be South-South one day and, Southeast the next day. I'd like you to address that. And who in Aniocha Oshimili are you thinking of? Are you also throwing your hat in the ring? Because we've had like a series of guests of late using this platform to make, declarations here.
I want to tell you something. I am not interested in politics at all, not even about being president of Nigeria. I've left that field because what you just said to do doesn't make sense to me as a person. We can't keep shifting the goalpost when this game is being played. And that is all that goes on in Nigeria. And that is because the polity, I keep saying, is devoid of any kind of ideology. So people just use these political platforms as platforms to try and hijack power for themselves and their friends and their families and whatever they do and all of that. So that does not interest me at all. I just want to put the record straight in terms of what it is we are doing as a country. You see, there are too many injustices in Nigeria already that we are complaining about. I, as an Igbo man, am complaining that an Igbo man has not been president. So while I'm complaining about that and feeling, a little bit shortchanged there, not because an Igbo man being president is going to make it any better for me, because you see, I'm a pan-Nigerian by my birth and by the kind of life I've lived. I'm one of the few Nigerians that can tell you, right, Tundu, that I am from every part of Nigeria. My mother is from Kogi State, a town called Ogori, but she is of Yoruba ethnic stock. So that makes her a Southwesterner and also a Northerner. My father is from Asaba, but he is Igbo, and that is what we are talking about here. That makes me come from the South-South as a geopolitical zone and an Igbo man. So what I'm trying to say is simple. Whatever we do, let us just be true to ourselves. Because if we keep shifting this goalpost just to favor, our own selfish interest at that time, then it will always come back to haunt us. And that is why the problem is like this. That is why the problem with political leadership in Nigeria is intractable. And that is why we must get to a point where it has to just be about meritocracy. When your father was ran for the presidency of Nigeria, who remembered where he came from? He united the whole country, and everybody voted for him. That is the kind of Nigeria we're looking forward to having. When Obasanjo was president, even his own people from Southwest did not want him, but he was made president of Nigeria by everybody else in Nigeria. Now some people even come on TV and tell us that the Igbos are constantly against themselves, which is beginning to look like, because here I am, an Igbo man, and I'm shouting that, yes, you can't keep saying to us that we are not Igbos. They say we should reach out to other ethnic groups and all of that. Even other ethnic groups, nobody, that is one of the biggest lies they keep selling in Nigeria. No ethnic group is heterogeneous in its thinking and all of that. In fact, most politicians, I can assure you, if you look at the political trajectory of Nigeria, their greatest traducers have always been the ones from their villages, from their towns, and from their states. It's not even the ones from other places. So what are we saying?
Okay, you meant homogeneous in their thinking, not heterogeneous, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, just like the argument that the North have had a lot of Nigerian presidents, yet the North still remains very poor and very, very devoid of development. Let me use that word. But I want to talk about that point you raised, because everybody says that. We had Kashim here, Alhaji Kashim here, in the course of the week, I think. He said the same thing, that the Igbos don't reach out, they're not doing deals. I even remember of blessed memories, of blessed memory, I should say, Issa Funtua was here too, and he said the same. They're
Sorry,
not going.
I can't hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Better now.
Good. I said we had Alhaji Kashim here. It said the same thing, that the Igbos don't reach out.
Okay.
Secondly, I remember Issa Funtua of blessed memory said the same thing while he was here. I think the last interview he granted before he passed was on Arise. I think it was January, maybe last year or thereabout. He said the same thing. No, you're not reaching out to do deals. How best can you do that deal? How best can you reach out? Can an average Igbo man reach out and do that deal across other parts of the country?
Well, Alhaji Kashim is my personal friend. I know him very well. And he is, even by virtue of his own upbringing and the life he's led, he's what you can call a pan-Nigerian. He went to King's College, so he has friends. He's just like the former Emir of Kanu, These as young men, they were in Lagos and all of that, maybe the Yaraduas as well, when their father was the Minister of Lagos Affairs and all of that. So there are a lot of cosmopolitan Northerners everywhere. Same thing with Igbo people, and same thing with Yoruba people. And same thing with every other ethnic group, whether it's Shekiri, whether Urubo, whether, they're all like that. So when anybody comes and says the Igbos are not reaching out, it cannot be true. You see, there are different kinds of Igbo people, there are different kinds of Yoruba people, there are different kinds of Northerners and all of that. So if you have an Igbo man who obviously, just like Babangida said, you must have a friend everywhere, that is insular in his own upbringing, and he wasn't privileged by the schools he went to mix early in life with people from other parts of Nigeria. It will come up that way. But I can assure you that for every Yoruba man, or every northerner that comes up with a cosmopolitan Nigerian candidate that can reach out to all of Nigeria, there will always be an Igbo man that can do that as well. It's about getting the right person that will also fit that bill. Although right now in Nigeria, if you asked me, and that's why I'm thinking that once we can get over this hurdle of ethnicity, maybe that is why it's important that an Igbo person, should be the next president. And after that, maybe then that way we know that everybody, it has satisfied the whole country. Then we now start going for strictly meritocracy. Because the problems and the challenges confronting Nigeria now are much beyond this idea of where you come from or where you don't come from. We need competent people, people that are vast in economics, people that are vast in human management, and people that are vast in world affairs and, that can manage this country. Otherwise, even with all this talk we are talking about 2023, some of us still have our secret fears. If this country continues to go the way it's going, will we even make it to 2023? That is the problem. Or that is a question that should be asked.
Well, Chike, good point you've made there about meritocracy. Other people agree with you. But there are others who are saying, look, we should focus on rotational presidency. Let it go round first before we begin to talk about merit. And if it's about merit, there are people of merit in every ethnic group in Nigeria.
That's right.
However, you made a good point also about the Asaba involvement in the Biafran War. My favorite books on that, The Asaba Massacre by Elizabeth S. Bird, who also wrote Niger Wife, and also the book by Emma Okocha,
Blood on the Niger.
Emmanuel Okocha, Blood on the Niger. I remember those books as you gave that story. But the issue with regard to Igbo presidency is that people from other places are not Igbo enough. They even say the kind of Igbo that you guys, from the subnational Igbo groups speak is not Igbo.
Yeah, using that word again.
So how do you deal with that? Because the mainstream Igbo, I don't think they will ever accept.
Like that. That's why I'm here today. There's nothing like mainstream Igbo. We are all Igbos. I'm sorry. And anybody that comes here to tell you that is lying to you. We are all Igbos. I'm as Igbo as any other Igbo man in Nigeria.
Okay, we've moved from ethnicity now. We're dealing with identity politics. Yeah. Because this is about identity. Who is the true Igbo? Maybe somebody else will still come and challenge some of your points. But I wanted to ask you, I asked you to maybe perhaps identify persons of merit from the Aniocha Oshimili wing that you think, can lead Nigeria. Maybe you have some names at the back of your mind, and maybe you also like to comment on what kickstarted the whole of this conversation. The front page story by this day newspaper containing 31 names of possible presidential candidates of Nigeria. I'm sure you saw that.
Well, in the case of the Aniocha Oshimili one, the truth is this. There are a few of our people out there in the political space because you don't want, right from my father's generation, like I said, we have some of the best Nigerians ever. From Chief Osadebe through to Justice Idigbe, to Justice Uche Omo, to the different medical physicians, Japhet Azinge, Nicholas Azinge, Olisa Chukura, SAN. We have some of the finest Nigerians. They were all academicians. They were all professionals of different hue and all of that. But the truth is that for you to want to lead, it's not just about being an accomplished person. That's not what leadership is about. You have to come out to say you want to lead. So in what we are talking about, the only person I can think of from the top of my heart, from the Aniocha Oshimili axis, that has been very active in this political space and has been talking about leading Nigeria, and he is very capable of leading Nigeria. I might not believe in his politics, whatever his politics is, but in terms of capacity, he's one of the best you can find, is somebody like Patu Tommy. Definitely he's out there. But you see, there are so many others I know, so many other young men of that kind of age group of between maybe 65 to 55 that I know that are from that axis. But none of them have ever come out to say they want to lead. So calling their names and all of that would just be an exercise in futility. And then if we go back to what you talked about, which is the This Day publication that looked at Nigerians generally and thought about it. Yes, there was no doubt. There's a lot of merit in that list I saw, you know. But the truth is, yes, we all want a Nigerian that is 60 or 65, or we say anybody over 65 is too old by 2023 and all of that. That's fine. But we also know that it's not just about age. And the kind of problems we have in Nigeria now might need a lot of experience to be able to navigate out of it. You see, what they're talking about, this age thing, it's a situation where, as they say in those days when we used to do chemistry, was under normal temperature and pressure. But Nigeria is not that today at all. You know, so if you ask me, the kind of people I am looking at that can give good leadership in Nigeria from wherever they come from, and that have the structures on the ground, because what we are talking about, the election is barely 2 years away, and we know how expensive and how, you know, how diverse Nigeria is. There is no abracadabra you are going to do with a new candidate today and all of that. The young man that was in CBN has really impressed me because he has also shown that he wants it, and I can tell he has the capacity. So that's Kingsley Moghalu. I don't care where he comes from. He seems a good candidate. Whether we like it or not, the two Trojan horses we have in Nigerian politics as we speak today, Bola Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar, irrespective of their ages, can never be discounted when you talk about leadership in 2023. So that's the kind of thing we should look at. Yes, there are young, upcoming talent here and there. My very good friend, Tunde Fashola, any day, with the kind of experiences. This is somebody I'm sure who never thought about going into government for one day. But see what he has made out of, you know, his time in governance.
Chike, I'm your friend.
You know?
You have not mentioned my name.
Of course.
You have not mentioned my name.
There is Rotimi Amechi, who's also gotten a lot of experience from being in politics as well. So we have a lot of people.
He's also denied being Igbo.
Sorry?
He who has also denied being Igbo.
Who has denied being Igbo?
Yes.
Who?
Rotimi Amechi.
Okay, you see what I mean? So you see what I'm
sometimes
trying
he'll tell you, I'm proudly Ikwere, I'm not Igbo. Sometimes I'm Igbo.
Fantastic.
But my question here is, but I have a question, Ogwefi.
Okay.
My question is two. Firstly, what would you say to those who will argue that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, because that Ebele was stressed, has already filled that space for the South-South Igbos, so that you don't need a turn now? And also, would you, disqualify Igbos in the north, for example, because you have Igbos from Benue, you have Igbos from Kogi State. If they decide to throw their hats in the ring, would they be, considered to be candidates of Igbo extraction or northern candidates?
Okay, let's start with quickly the Rotimi Amechi thing. Funny enough, as much as I hear and I think I'm in tune with public discourse, I've never heard that Rotimi said that about himself. That's news to me, but again, that tells you about this story. Maybe the Ikweres, I'm not from Ikwere, and maybe they don't consider themselves Igbos. I'm from Asaba, and I know I'm an Igbo man. Okay, so that's it. Now, Igbos from anywhere, that is the argument I'm putting forward today, are Igbos as far as I'm concerned, provided they share that same affinity, they share the same language, the same cultural affinity, and all the things that bind ethnic tribes, as a heterogeneous whole. So I don't care whether you're from Igala Igbo, as they call them, from Kogi, or wherever, an Igbo man is an Igbo man. That is my feeling. Then you also asked a third question, which I've lost track of now. I don't know if you can remind me, please.
What would you say to candidates from Kogi or Benue who are also of Igbo extraction throwing their hats in the ring? Would they be considered? So that was the third question.
Yes, I've answered that, but there was something else you asked. That was even the main thrust of this question, but I just wanted to answer the two ancillary ones.
Well, Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Aha, that's right. Thank you. Now, you see, again, this is another of the lies Nigeria tell. Jonathan, we all know, is an Ijaw man. An Ijaw man can never be an Igbo man. Okay. Okay, look at the case of Rotimi Amechi. Rotimi, I am made to understand, maybe it might be a different, maybe the facts might not be correct, was given that name Rotimi, which really is a Yoruba name, because his father was a great admirer of the great Chief Rotimi Williams. Now, how Ebele came to get the name Ebele, an Ijaw man, I don't know. So the fact that his name is Ebele cannot make Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, an Igbo man.
Well,
that is my submission.
Just to add a footnote, Rotimi Amechi's middle name is Chibuike.
That's right.
Rotimi Chibuike Amechi.
And do you want me to tell you the meaning of Chibuike? God has power. That's what it means. It's almost the same. It's almost the same meaning as my own name, Chukwuwike, which is the full naming of my name. God has power.
I have my own little footnote as well. You said you weren't sure of when that happened. It was at a public event where he was described by Chief Joe Iruku, who I believe then was the president.
Professor, please.
Professor
Joe.
I do beg your pardon.
Professor.
So this is how he corrected him as well. So that gentleman referred to him as a promising or prestigious Igbo son. And he said, no, I'm Ikwere in public when he was governor of River State. So that's where that was from.
Okay. Chike, amidst all of this fight for identity and this jostling for Igbo presidency in 2023 is the fate of our land. And maybe soon we'll soon start having the fate of land. Whose land? Whose land is it? And I'm talking based on this grazing gazette now by the federal government, by the president. Because the conversation now is who is Igbo, who is not Igbo. But the unity of this country has still been hinged on who owns XYZ land.
No, but
what's your take on that, Chike?
Ruben had put that to bed. There's a 1969 judgment from one of my very good friend's father, Justice Adewale Thompson, who has put that to rest, that open grazing is not allowed in anywhere in southern Nigeria. And I think the different states have started making those laws, in their own states, the different assemblies. And obviously, you cannot do anything that is illegal in any state. So I don't lose any sleep over that. If anybody thinks they can try to railroad that kind of initiative in Nigeria, I don't think it will work. Anybody that wants to, you see, and this is 2021, dairy products, livestock, they are a major mainstay of any economy. Even in Holland and all those places where they do all those things, go and find out. They don't do open grazing. All we need to do now is to have those reserves and have, find a methodical way. Apparently, the governor of Ekiti State, I hear is already doing something like that. He imported some cows the other day. I don't think they are gallivanting all over Ekiti State. I think there's a massive reserve where those cows are being reared. It's a major, as far as I'm concerned, it's a major business. It's like selling spare parts. Motor spare parts the way the Igbos do, and anybody can go into it. I can invest in a farm and have all my livestock in one farm. But I cannot take my livestock and start interfering in other people.
Are you comparing herders to spare part sellers now? Is that the case?
No, what I'm comparing, or the analogy I'm trying to make, I'm just saying grazing or, rearing of cattle is a business. That is all I'm saying. Just like the way we sell spare parts, the way we sell clothes, all the boutiques on Awolowo Road that I just came in through, they're all businesses.
Well, Chike,
that is the point I'm making.
Let's try to see if we can close this where we started from. Do you really believe that an Igbo presidency will happen in 2023? Or do you suspect that those persons from the northern part of the country who have been saying, look, Igbos can't be president because they will never reach a consensus, would look at this, your conversation with us and say, okay, look at it now. The People in the 5 states of the Southeast, they are fighting among themselves. They can't reach a decision. People across the Niger are also saying, oh, we fought the civil war. Well, it's only today I've heard that there are even neighbors in Kogi who are indigenous to Kogi and to some other places. Do you think they will feel vindicated and say this is exactly what the likes of, Alhaji Yusuf Funtua were saying?
No, you see, this again is what I have a problem with. Why do they ask from the Igbos what they didn't ask from any other ethnic group? I said it earlier on in a submission I made, that Obasanjo was president of Nigeria without the Yoruba vote. So obviously, the Yorubas did not sit down and decide that Obasanjo should be their candidate. And yet he won. So talk to me about the Igbos reaching out, and that is what they should do. Forget what they do internally, forget what we are doing, like what is happening even with what I'm saying now, because it seems like they want to exclude us, So we can sort all that in-house. Don't forget that, they have all kinds of organs that I'm sure there's the Ohanese in the Igbo, of which Delta Igbos or these Anyocha Oshimili people have played very pivotal roles. We've had the late Ambassador Wechwe, we've had the late Achuzea, who was one of Ojuku's major generals, they all played roles in Ohanese. So when the time comes, I don't think that is a problem. Nigeria should not ask of the Igbos what they do not ask of other tribes. That is all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you.
After watching this video, I hope you have seen a lot of things revealed. I hope you saw a lot of things revealed. That man that was speaking there, who was answering the question, is somebody, an Igbo person from Delta State. He knows quite well that he's Igbo. And there is no Igbo man that is more Igbo than the other Igbo. Once you are an Igbo person, you are either Igbo or you're not Igbo. You are either Igbo Biafra or you're not Igbo Biafra. There's nothing like telling me that there are Igbo outskirts and Igbo indoor, Igbo on mainland and Igbo on outdoor, whatever name they are given, trying to plant divide and rule, trying to put that divide, using those language that divides us. You have to wake up. More especially the Igbo Biafrans, they have to wake up. They have to wake up. These people have come again. They have come again with their propaganda. We are not part of whatever agenda they are having as Igbo presidency. We are not part of it. We are not part of anything that has to do with presidency of anything that has to do with Nigeria. We are no longer part of it. And that is the voice of the Igbos. Whoever is going forward to project him or herself as somebody representing Igbos for whatever presidency, there is nothing like that. We are not interested. Your presidency cannot do us any good. You can see the man who was answering there, even though he was making a good point, but at the end of the day, you will still see him dancing around. These are people who cannot stand in their word. Even though that man, looking at him and hearing him, you will see that that very man who was speaking of that very interview knows the truth. And he knows very well, and there is nothing you can do on the planet Earth to make Nigeria work. When he was asked about the Igbo presidency, if it's going to be possible, he said he's not even sure if an Igbo man will ever be president in Nigeria. How can you still be calling yourself a Nigerian? How can you still be willing to be part of that place where you cannot boast and say you can be a president, even when you are overqualified? Even when you are qualified, you know fully well that you are qualified more than those who are even being appointed. Yet, you know that it is not possible for you to be a president or serve a certain post in the country of Nigeria, and yet you are calling yourself part of that very contraption. How long will Biafrans continue to listen to this trash? How long will Biafrans continue to allow themselves to be used? These are people who call themselves intellectuals. You can see from everything that we are talking about, this is the message our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been preaching for a very long time. What is Ohanese Ndigbo doing? Ohanese Ndigbo cannot even represent their people to speak the mind of the people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have brought this message to the highest level that everybody will follow. He made it clear for us to know that Igbos are one. It doesn't matter where you are. He went as far as telling us that in Biafra there is nothing like minority. We are the same family, one people. He talked about our relationship even with the Ijaws, even with those people they are calling their names Ijaws or Efik or whatever. Our relationship with them. We are brothers. These are one people, one single people. But every now and again, you see your government will continue to play divide and rule, preaching a false information, false message that doesn't hold water, telling us those who are Igbo and those who are not Igbo. But when it comes to punishment to Igbo, they punish every one of us in the southeastern part of Nigeria. When it comes to intimidation, they intimidate everybody from the southeastern part of Nigeria. Every time they talk about war and war and war and war, you can see that the person that fought the war, who killed the Sadwana they are talking about, is somebody from the Niger Delta, an Igbo person. And because of that, the whole Igbos have been punished. But when it comes to their politics of divide and rule, they will let you know that you are not as Igbo as the other person. You are not, it's short that you are not Igbo. This is the lie they are pushing. And some people are buying this lie, dying in silence. How long shall we continue to listen to this trash? I want you to go back to that video and watch it again and again and again. Watch that interview. And you see the way Abati was trying to change the narrative, trying to divide the Igbos by all means possible. Even when the man was telling him, I am Igbo, I have no other identity except from Igbo. Yet he continued to ask irrelevant questions, trying to distract him, trying to tell people there are people who are mainland, there are people. This is what they are doing, divide and rule. How long shall we continue to permit this? Enough is enough. And we cannot continue to take this nonsense. We are moving out of Nigeria. We are not interested in their whatever election or whatever presidency they're talking about. What we want is Biafra. Freedom, now or never. No matter what they do, we are moving ahead. The only request we are making from them is referendum. Conduct referendum so that we will decide our fate and move away from the contraction called Nigeria. May Chuks continue to protect our BiafraNews MAZI NNAMDI KANU for his good work. May Chuks continue to strengthen our BiafraNews MAZI NNAMDI KANU. May Chuks continue to give him good health, strength wherever he is. And very, very soon, our Supreme Leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU will surely come out. And he will be coming out with the flag of Biafra lifted high. And we shall all go home and celebrate. Sing the national anthem of Biafra with our head lifted high. So shall it be. Nobody can stop it. May Chuks protect everyone that is genuinely fighting for freedom in that contraption called Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again on the next video.